Hello and welcome. We start with Madagascar, where military is taking power after impeachment of President Andry Rajoelina, who fled the country days after the anti-government Gen Z protests rocked the African island nation. An elite Madagascar military called CAPSAT has reportedly taken power in the country after the National Assembly voted to impeach President Andry Rajoelina for desertion of duty. The lower house of Madagascar's parliament voted to impeach the president. The National Assembly decision came hours after the 51-year-old leader sought to dissolve it by decree, deepening the Indian Ocean island's political crisis. President Rajoelina addressed the nation on Monday for the first time since the protests began in late September. Ignoring calls to resign amid escalating unrest, the president said he was sheltering in a safe place following what he called an attempt on his life.
Some presidents within the African continent offered to send troops to bring about peace in Madagascar. My response was that it is not in line with Malagasy values to send troops, which I declined. For that reason, I was forced to find a place, and I went to a safe location to protect my life. I will not let you be destroyed, and I will not let anyone destroy you, Madagascar. For that very reason, I personally opened the doors for consultation and dialogue to usher us out of this difficult situation. The problem is not how you express your opinion, but the repercussions and exaggeration of those that take advantage of the situation, as we see how things are currently unfolding.
Ahead of his address, mutinous soldiers and security forces publicly declared support for the protesters. This included the elite CAPSAT unit, the same force that helped Rajoelina seize power in a 2009 coup. A paramilitary unit that had been leading the crackdown against the demonstrators also broke ranks and joined the protesters. Rajoelina reportedly flew out of Madagascar, a former French colony, on a French military aircraft on Sunday. Reports in the French media claim that Rajoelina struck a deal with President Emmanuel Macron before leaving. Now, speaking in Egypt after a summit on the Gaza ceasefire, the French president said he could not immediately confirm these reports. He added that constitutional order must be preserved in Madagascar and grievances of youth should not be exploited by military factions.
I want to express our great concern and express France's friendship with the Malagasy people. And basically, I have two messages. I think it is very important that the constitutional order, institutional continuity be preserved in Madagascar, because the stability of the country and the interests of the population are at stake. And besides that, I want to say here as everywhere, that we look at the youth of these countries with great admiration, affection. We have a youth who has expressed itself, who is politically active, who wants a better life, and that is a very good thing. It just must not be taken over by military factions or foreign interference.
The Gen Z rallies in Madagascar were inspired by similar movements in Kenya, Morocco, and also in Asian countries like Nepal, Indonesia, and the Philippines. The protests erupted over chronic power and water shortages in the impoverished Indian Ocean nation, but quickly escalated into a broader anti-government uprising. The United Nations says at least 22 people have been killed and more than 100 injured, though the government rejects these figures. Madagascar, where the median age is under 20, has a population of about 30 million, and about 3/4 of its people live in poverty. Now, the country has faced repeated political turmoil since gaining independence from France in 1960. Similar protests also broke out in 2009. Back then, Rajoelina was leading the opposition rallies. The CAPSAT unit, which has now turned against him, helped him to seize power in 2009 and to lead a transitional government until 2014. He returned to office through elections in 2019 and was re-elected in 2023. But public frustration has deepened over unfulfilled promises, rising poverty and failing public services. To calm the unrest, Rajoelina sacked his entire cabinet last month. On Sunday, the Senate also announced the dismissal of its president, as demanded by the protesters. Now, with the president fleeing following a military revolt, will Madagascar plunge deeper into political chaos, or will it mark the beginning of a new chapter in the African island nation? Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Geopolitics, a journalist who is joining us live from Antananarivo in Madagascar. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Hello.
Now, Gail, with Madagascar's military now in control following President Rajoelina's flight, what is the constitutional or the political framework guiding this power transition? Is there any indication that the army intends to hand back power to the civilian authorities, or are we witnessing the early stages of a full military regime?
It is very difficult to say at the moment. I'm just in front of the presidential palace. You can see it behind me. And a few minutes ago, some military officers from CAPSAT came and said they are in charge now. And this followed a vote at the National Assembly, an impeachment vote. So the MPs, the majority of the MPs vote for the impeachment of President Rajoelina. Now, there is a constitutional question. Is the National Assembly vote legal? Is the CAPSAT military unit announcement legal? It's very difficult to say because they announced the dissolution of the High Constitutional Court, and it's the organ that is supposed to validate that kind of decision. So at the moment, it's very difficult to tell you if all this, all what happens, what happened today followed the constitutional order. So we're in the middle of a crisis. It's very confusing and very difficult to follow at the same time.
Want the facts?
The latest developments.
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.